And the other shows, you kind of felt sorry for Oliver every once in a while. It's like, geez, how did he get into all this? But then, you know, with Beverly Hillbillies, you had Mr. Drysdale, which you could just absolutely hate. You know, it's like, because you know, no matter what he was doing it for money, and you knew he was trying to rip everybody off, and it's like, yeah, you got him.
I about died because I found out like Miss Jane was like the top secretary for the top insurance company, and she left that job to work for Mr. Drysdale, and he made her do stupid.
Why?
So she had this
must
head
have
trip of her own, you know?
wonderful fringe benefits,
She
some
had
sort
with him.
of great dental plan or something. You know, it's like, come here and you'll have to wear silly outfits and drive me around. I mean, basically my personal chauffeur and chauffeur secretary.
And you have to help me convince these hillbillies that I'm God.
Yeah. And to listen to me no matter what happens. Yeah.
I figured he must have had some dirt on Jane somehow.
Somewhere back in the...
some sort of
trash on her.
I don't know, a cash and nude photo.
Right.
Did you ever think like maybe since this was during the 60s, maybe Mr. Drysdale was to represent the evil establishment, and Beverly Hillbillies were to for the back to earth people.
Yeah.
Well, there was a point
Look how evil this establishment guy is.
Well, there was a point where they went and you know.
When they met the hippies?
Yeah, when they met the hippies.
And they smoked crawdads.
Smoked crawdads.
Yeah, Granny kept telling them about smoked crawdads, and they were, whoa.
Like, wow, crawdads, whoa.
I knew people like that.
Yeah. Of course, they were the Hollywood sanitized version of the hippies, you know.
Yeah. Which made them more like Robin Hood's Merry Men,
right.
Which is what they turned out to be, because they thought that Jethro was Robin Hood or something like that at the time.
For real.
And the Rangers were after him. It was all done on the stage, though. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Everybody just kind of run back into each other after a while. It was kind of funny. Kind of funny. But yeah, you're right. Of the things, the Mayberry whole thing, where they were more realistic, except for Gomer Pyle, but it kind of based more on realism.
Right. The Gomer Pyle show. I mean, the character was fine. It was just the whole show was like no.
When they come marching out, it just looks like they're marching off the movie set, doesn't it?
Right.
Same kind of buildings and everything, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're.
Was anybody? I don't know if I'm right and remember if I'm thinking of the right show. That seems like there was a show on Mayberry where they put Gomer on the bus and sent him off.
Yeah. On Andy Griffith, there was a show that they sent him off, and Andy Griffith went to the camp with him, and with Sergeant Carter's there and all this, and
can't take him. I don't want him on my sheriff's department.
And Andy's like, he's like the last 2 days, and yet he lasted all those seasons on his own show. Oh well.
And it was just what was it that Gomer wanted to do, or was he drafted?
No, he wanted to.
He wanted to be. Yeah.
He wanted to. I wasn't drafted.
Oh yeah, send me to the Marines.
Oh.
Yeah, of course, then you had the pale imitation of the Andy Griffith Show, Mayberry RFD.
Yeah.
With Ken Berry. By then it was just like, there's no Floyd, there's no...
Basically that was...
Barney was already long since gone, yeah.
Yeah, he went to Mount Pilot, didn't he?
I think so, I forget.
Didn't he become a detective or something? Because I remember Barney coming back for a few with a suit on.
Who did they get to replace him? It was Jack Burns played the character.
Okay.
It was his second deputy, and it's like the whole show started suffering at that point. That was pretty much the beginning of the end of the Andy Griffith Show. It was like Barney's gone, you know, and you don't see Floyd, and
hope he didn't come back to make any appearances at all.
Right, yeah.
Ain't B, no ain't B. So yeah, that just kind of.
Who's Aunt B's friend? Clara.
Clara's, what's her last name? Clara Edwards.
Clara, okay.
And Barney must have been like the Casanova, because remember he always going out with
Thelma Lou.
Okay, but remember he'd always call
Juanita.
up that one.
Call up Juanita. Down at the diner.
Juanita. You be singing to her.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. I just made that up.
The Don Juan of Mayberry, Barney 5.
Don Juan, Don Knotts. That's pretty sad. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel when Don Knotts is the playboy. Of course, there's still Howard, but he didn't go out much.
Where was he live with his mother?
Remember that one where he caught that big fish? Nobody could catch this fish. This was a fish. And no one could catch it. So the first time they take Howard fishing, he throws a line in and catches this giant fish. And so everybody's like, gee, now what you gonna do with it? So he puts it in an aquarium in Raleigh or something. Everybody's like, gee, man, the fish ain't in the pond no more.
Yeah.
They all got sad, so he took it back and put it in the pond so nobody could ever catch it again. I was like, yeah, that entertained people for a half hour.
Yeah, and that's all they really, that's all it really was. It wasn't like, wasn't PBS here. We're talking, it was something real simple. It's like sit down and just shut off your brain for half an hour and watch this.
Yeah.
So kind of Slimy Hill family.
Well, I don't know if we want to get into that because I think we're running out of time. Believe it or not, on this exciting show.
Golly.
Well,
Shazam.
Well, okay. How many more can we go there? Well, we're about done for the show, and next show we're going to be having the exciting. We're going to go through. We've already done our Trek show, our Star Trek show. Now we're going to do all science fiction other than Trek in the 60s and 70s. So we're just going to. I don't know how we're going to cram it in a half an hour, but we'll try. For all of us at Vast Wasteland, we'll see you later, and y'all come back now.
Yeah.
Here?
Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed, a poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude. Oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, Jed's a millionaire. Kinfolks said, Jed, move away from there. Said California is the place you ought to be, so they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is, swimming pools, movie stars. Well, now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin, and they would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back again to this locality to have a heath in heaven of their hospitality. Hillbilly, that is, set a spell, take your shoes off.